Is it reasonable that somebody can, that one can trust someone's level of piety in terms of their praying salah, etc., but perhaps feel or knows through experience that they are not the most knowledgeable or best with regards to researching halal and haram ingredients or meat? Meaning, would that be extreme on your part? No, everyone has common sense. It's your deen. Just like with your money, it's common sense. If somebody on the street corner comes itching to you and their veins are, showing, and they ask you for like $5, it's probably not a good idea to give them cash. If they say they're hungry, go buy them the food. Why? Because your common sense teaches you that there's a reasonable possibility that this person is gonna use it for something wrong. Whereas if it's, your neighbor or your relative that is, you're relatively comfortable that this person is not a drug addict, go ahead and give them the money if they ask you for it. It's not going to harm them, inshallah. And, who knows? Maybe the drug addict will go and buy a sandwich with it, and maybe your cousin or your neighbor will go and buy heroin with it. Those things happen. But, the thing that's rare, it's as if it doesn't exist in terms of fiqh. But use your common sense. Don't trust your deen to people nonchalantly. There's a point that we're going too far, and that point is when you start to suspect everybody of everything all the time. However, I would say, a good standard that a person should use is how much scrutiny and scrupulousness you would have with your money. A little bit more than that you should have with your deen. And if you trust, in such a situation, you would trust that person, with, whatever, with your money. If you have that much confidence in their understanding and practice of halal, then you can trust them and eat them. And the fact of the matter is that, again, until we who actually see the importance of this thing start to live our values, if we don't take them personally as important, or we're willing to sacrifice them for the smallest of excuses, then why do we expect somebody else who doesn't even see eye to eye with this issue in the first place to care? And Allah Ta'ala knows best. And again, those transactions or those interactions that are excusable on an individual level from time to time, on a communal level, they become that much more perilous. I get the fact that, sometimes you'll go to a gathering and it's a tough call you have to make on the spot, and maybe a person makes a mistake, you ask too much or they ask too little, and then afterward they end up regretting those things. We hope for Allah's forgiveness for them, but we have to understand between us that it's not a solution, it's not a way forward for the ummah in the future. Rather, in the future, these things will only be tackled through institutionalization and through centralization, and Allah knows best.